Little slice of hell. This is directly from
the write-up.
The agent's write-up. Colorado home destroyed by ex-tenant who covered it with obscene graffiti and feces.
Yes.
Left behind a freezer full of rotting meat. This home hits the market as a fixer-upper for $590,000. Now, if you go to the Realtor Mag article, which we'll link below, it fetched multiple offers on this property.
The home smells like there's a dead body in there, it says.
Bobby, you got to put all the pictures of this thing.
Yes.
The graffiti is ridiculous.
I mean, they were really pissed off. So what happened was the landlord, actually, I believe that there is a property manager involved, and they evicted.
The property manager hasn't stepped foot in the property in 10 years.
Well, yeah, but they evicted this tenant, and then the tenant approached the property management company and asked if they could go back in.
They went through the courts and got the right to go back in to get their stuff.
Right. And when they did that, that's when they left behind all of these lovely messages.
When totally crazy. I mean, here's the thing. This property manager, who supposedly, according to the first article, has not stepped foot in the property in about 10 years. It sounds like we're going to have a dispute here between the owner and the property manager. The owner...
Well, but first of all, the house is under contract and it went over list price. I mean,
right. So maybe you're not gonna have a problem, but
they made out.
But they made it a point to say that property manager hadn't stepped foot in the property in 10 years. The owner hasn't either.
The owner isn't even local. I believe the owner is in a completely different state. Yeah.
So if you have a tenant that you're evicting, is my point, and they went through the courts to have the right to go back into their stuff. The neighbors hated this tenant. Everybody hated this tenant. Okay. The only person that didn't hate this tenant is themselves. Maybe they even hate themselves. If you look at this graffiti, they could even hate themselves.
Well, they definitely are not good people.
Right.
Yes.
Now, if you know there's potentially a problem, you as the landlord, as the property manager rather, you've got to show up to this day of them moving the stuff out.
Right.
You've got to be there.
I agree.
Here's the problem with
somebody should have been escorting them.
With what Blackstone's doing and buying 17,000. If you own 17,000 single family rentals, does this one bother you at all?
No.
If you're owning one single family rental, does this bother you?
It's scary.
It's very scary.
It's very scary.
It's why, and I've said this before in the past, it's why the best way to invest in rental real estate is to have some type of scale.
Floors, yeah.
Even 4 units is better than one, because 4 units, if you have one tenant that does this, you still have 75% of your rent coming in. Right. One person squatting, one person not paying, you still have 75% of your income. If one person does this, you wait multiple months to get them out. Then they destroy the property. If you're not living in a 2021 market, which is,
well, to be honest though, even if you're not
it.
Doing graffiti, there are going to be things that need to happen to a home regardless, especially if someone's living there for that many years.
They left a freezer of rotting meat in the MLS.
They left pets behind to die.
That happened to me before.
Like in your own home?
My first 2-family I ever bought.
They left a cat.
They left a cat.
Ooh.
They left a cat.
Did you find the cat? Was it dead?
Right when I walked in, I finally got into the unit.
Maybe the cat was dead before they left?
No, the cat was alive. It was skinny.
Oh.
They had some cat food on the carpet.
Oh, that's
just
so bad.
And it was, leaving behind.
Can they get arrested for that? I feel like you can get arrested for that.
So I called. What I did was, because I'm like, I got so many problems. They destroyed the place. The place smelled like feces, cat feces.
Yeah.
I called and I said, listen, I'm reporting you unless you come and get the cat within a half hour. They came and got the cat. Now, that probably, looking back on it, wasn't the right thing to do, because they probably
for sure
did something bad to the cat.
Of course. Yes.
I called, I believe it was like the girlfriend or somebody who I knew was going to have somewhat of a heart in the situation.
Yeah, I think
for the cat.
I don't know. I think you
called 911. But I should have called and had the cat picked up by somebody who actually likes cats, because they obviously don't like cats.
I don't think that's. I think that's very illegal.
What I did?
No,
okay.
You can't just
I just had so many problems at the time. I was 19 years old. I was a terrible landlord, the worst, and made a lot of mistakes.
Probably.
And I was like, I need this one mistake out of the way here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was just a terrible.
Did anyone no one graffitied you?
No, I don't remember any graffiti. They would always leave behind furniture.
Oh my
garbage,
goodness, my tenants do
junk.
too. The amount I spend on dumpsters.
This
although my kids have gotten gaming consoles, they're
oh wow.
Yeah, they've left behind games and
that's where the Purell comes in handy.
And DVDs and.
Yeah, no, I've had some really bad situations. That was, I think, the worst, because I remember I've changed all the carpets with the cat, leaving behind everything.
Clearly.
Now this one, they had both animal and human feces.
Human.
They had rotten meat for a year. The freezer did not have electricity for a year.
A year?
That's what it says in the article. For 1 year.
Wait, so somebody was living in it with the meat rotting?
There was probably a process through the eviction and whatever. The electricity maybe went out. Maybe the tenants weren't paying electricity. They didn't get into the whole story, but
yeah, this sounds like a lot more.
There's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
Now, in the MLS write-up, the agent says, avoid the freezer. What? I mean, you could have just had somebody come and get that.
Something.
I mean, but they wanted to sell it as is.
Well, the whole
so they
thing was sort of fun. What
goal.
else did she say? This is something about slice of hell, turning it into your
own slice of heaven. That was her MLS write-up.
Yeah.
So it's got great bones, though, and it's on a Col de Sac in a desirable location with great
Say that again?
views.
On a what?
Col de Sac. You know, you always make fun of me how I say cul-de-sac.
I do?
I say colt.
I don't think that's me.
Way.
I don't think I've ever heard you say
yeah, we've gone through this on
cul-de-sac.
On the road. Cul-de-sac.
Cul-de-sac?
Cul-de-sac.
Cul-de-sac.
One of those trick-or-treat neighborhoods. Beautiful house. And
yeah. I mean, they didn't do anything, though. They didn't even mow the lawn before they put it on the market.
They're already decorated for Halloween.
Yeah, they're already decorated.
Anyway, it is under contract. It just goes to show that this market is still en fuego.
Yeah.
Yes.
This market's crazy. You can sell anything.
Bonkers.
In past markets,
but you know what is interesting, though? I believe, and again, maybe I'm wrong, I think the homeowner is also a real estate agent. And it's funny because we were talking a few weeks ago.
Where do you get that?
I feel like it was in there because she didn't, I could
Mimi
be wrong.
Foster is the active listing agent.
I thought the homeowner, again, I was under the assumption that the owner was a real estate agent, but I could be wrong. But she was also smart. We were talking about the other day about multiple offers and how we're skeptical about accepting any offers or people saw it sight or did not see it. So it was sight unseen. She didn't accept any offers that were sight unseen because she was so concerned with how it looked. So I think that was smart. But anyway, it is under contract. It'll be interesting to see what it closes at.
You had to wear a mask in this one, not for COVID, but for other reasons.
Well, again, that's like the one upside to the mask thing. I mean, a lot of homes you probably don't want to participate in smelling.
So the tenant total racket here, but that's the risk you take if you're going to invest in one single family rental. If you see Blackstone, you're like, wow, that's brilliant. I should invest in single family real estate rentals. Blackstone does it at scale. This is a one-off. You can get really hurt for a number of months in a one-off. Mm-hmm. I'd encourage you to try, if you are going to get into investment real estate and you want to do single families, fine. Start buying multiple of them. Don't just own one. Don't own one that you don't step into you can't drive by. This owner didn't step into the property for 10 years.
Right.
You can't drive by it. Always when you have a property manager on a single family home,
right?
Something like this is more likely to happen because that property manager, they said, didn't go into the property for 10 years. You can't pay them enough on a single family home to care about the property. We're going to pay them 10% of $3,000 in rent, $300.
Yeah.
Who's caring for $300 a month?
Right. Yeah.
They're not caring.
Right.
They're going to steal from you, not literally, but they're going to steal from you in not doing their job because they just don't have an incentive to do it. So a lot of things to learn there. And
I feel like, in all honesty, this could almost be the marketeer of the week too. I mean, look, they're on, they're trending on everything.
Site. Market Watch.
I mean, maybe
Realtor.
the tenants did them a good. Did them right.
Did the listing agent right? She's quoted in all the Mimi Foster. She's quoted. We're talking about her here on the Real Word. So, which means she's getting on Inman, by the way.